Hi, this is Ryan Lawler. I'm here with TechCrunch TV. I'm talking with my colleague Drew Olanoff today. We're going to be talking about personal assistant apps, smart calendars, all of these new apps that are popping up seemingly like every day. There's a new one that's here to try and make our lives easier. But Drew, I mean, are they actually working for you?
Yeah, I think for me, so it seems like the technology is all there. Like we have Siri, and we'll get to that. I have an Android phone, so it's all about Google Now. So we can look on my phone and kind of look at what it's telling me.
So Google Now is like kind of the granddaddy of all these, or at least the first to come out in like a real implementation.
Yeah, I mean, it's telling me things in cards, like how long it's going to take to get to work, friends' birthdays, sports scores, things like that. And then, of course, it has voice commands that can perform Google searches for me. Another Android one that just came out, which I guess is a competitor to Now, is Sherpa.
Okay.
And that one does some other things, like lets you find flights, and you could add wrinkles like a flight for me and my girlfriend, so it would know that it's two people and it's looking for 2 tickets.
Right.
So you know the layers are being added on top of it. It's interesting though, because this has been the dream. Right, to this virtual personal assistant. I mean, what is your experience like?
Well, so I feel like right now we're in a place where we have phones which are smart. They know our location. They can have access to our calendars. And there's all this information just like sitting out there on the cloud, just like waiting to be used. And the workflow for most people right now is, you know, I know that I have a meeting at some point later on today, and then when it comes time for me to leave, then I look for, the address, I look for the directions, and do all that. The idea behind some of the ones that I've looked at, like I'm looking at one called Donna, or I've been using one called Donna recently, and the whole idea is that it'll basically tell you, it'll alert you before you need to go somewhere.
Okay.
Right? So it gives you an alert, like it, on the back end, we'll look at how long it takes you to get there, and then sort of dig up directions from wherever you are.
Right.
And then you can just sort of use that. But the experience that I've had really is just that, rather than making it easier for me, I feel like sometimes I have to, in order to make it easier, I have to add more information. There's like more steps that I have to add
That's the gotcha.
to make it worthwhile, right? So
garbage in, garbage out. So if you have to, hook it up to all your accounts and things like that. I mean, what is your, so you have an iPhone. Has Siri ever worked for you?
Siri has never worked for me.
Yeah.
I mean, even just the most basic, searches or tweets or whatever, I gave up on Siri so long ago.
Right.
Maybe it's worth it for me to try again, but I don't know. I just haven't.
It doesn't seem like it's gotten better.
Right.
But that was always the Apple promise, is that you would have this assistant, and it seems like Siri wasn't that. So that means that there's an opportunity for a company or an app like Donna to come in and do it better.
Well, I don't know about Donna. It also is kind of what you're looking for.
That's the thing. It's hard to make an app that fits everyone's lifestyle.
Right.
My flow is different than yours. I mean, you might want to know all the information about where you're going the night before in the morning, whereas I'm last minute. It's like when I wake up, that's when I want it to fire off all the stuff.
Right. Well, I think the idea is that, with apps like Donna or other apps that take into account your location, where you're going, you don't have to look in the morning. It'll let you know when you need to know, rather than, you proactively.
That requires a lot of trust.
Yeah, it requires a lot of trust.
And behavioral change, right?
Right. And I think that goes to my earlier point where, to actually make some of these apps work, from my experience, even with the other smart calendar apps, like as they tell you where to go or where you're supposed to be, my workflow has always been, I arrange these things by email, and then like when it comes time to do the meeting, then I look and see where it is. The apps that I've played with have needed a little bit more proactive sort of entering of information before they're able to provide more.
And are most people gonna do that? Like, what's the real dream? The real dream is like you don't have to do anything, that it just knows. And you would think that Google and Apple, since they're the ones that control the operating systems, they should have that best experience.
Right.
But I found with Sherpa, just the demo we did the other day, there's like 20 things it does that Google now doesn't even, or Siri doesn't even come close to. So it's interesting that they're getting lapped. Now this thing, it's not necessarily a personal assistant, but it is like kind of like a life hack. The Google Glass, the idea is you're getting notifications. You can get turn-by-turn directions. I can
you do a simulator?
Yeah,
so
I can show the screen and just do a quick little thingy-mabobber here.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean the basics are, if I have a meeting in a couple minutes, that this thing would pop up on my face. And obviously there aren't a lot of apps for it yet, but not to mention the fact that I look really goofy. But with Google Glass, I mean, it's not necessarily a personal assistant, but there's certain things that it can do. Like, let me see, I can get directions. I can Google something. Hold on 1 second. Okay, Glass. Sandwiches. Okay, I did that wrong. I'm still learning. Google. Sandwiches. All right. So right there, I basically just said something, and it's telling me the American grilled cheese, kitchen is a couple blocks away, and then I can get directions right from there. It'll bring up those directions. And so those are some shortcuts to do the things that I want to do. And I think as people build more apps, it could turn into a personal assistant. It could wake up and say, hey, you have a meeting, here it is right now, and just kick right into the turn-by-turn directions like we're saying here. That, to me, is my ultimate personal assistant. Whether I wear it on my face, it's on my wrist, or whatever, it literally at some moment knows that stuff needs to happen right now and get you going.
Right.
For me, an alert that comes up and says, oh, hey, you have a meeting in 10 minutes, doesn't do it for me, because just like every other notification, I don't pay attention to.
Yeah, well, I think the other thing is, being able to have integration with our existing workflows. I think so much would depend upon, not you proactively entering in information into a calendar, but having something smart enough to recognize, and this is a little creepy, but smart enough to recognize that you agreed to a 3 o'clock meeting with someone by email. It'll add it automatically to your calendar for you.
Right.
Or, it'll prompt you. It'll say, hey, it looks like you set up a meeting. Should I add that to your calendar? That would be awesome. But I haven't seen anything remotely like that yet.
Not yet. And I mean, there's little wrinkles that Google now does where it'll tell you, since Google Maps knows what the traffic is, like you should probably leave a couple minutes early. But again, none of those are really like in your face yet, and says, okay, you've got to do this, this, and this, and I'll help you do it. So it's really cool. Like, it's helpful technology, but it's not that true assistant yet.
Right. Okay, excellent. Well, still waiting for the perfect personal assistant app or technology.
Is it going to be humans, or is it going to be a blend, or is it going to be all technology based?
I think we can get to the point where it's going to be technology based, but
fair enough.
But we're probably a few years out.
It's true.
Anyway. I think that's my view, unless you have anything else.
No, I don't have anything else.
Cool. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for joining us.